as you know, I have been working on this project for quite a bit of time already, and kind of can break through with this. There is always something coming up as a problem, as a setback. So, as I mentioned already in a few occasions, I wanted to replace the radiator. So this is the radiator, and I already installed this thing once or twice on the car, but something was getting wrong every single time. So the radiator is this one, and it works, and it is for this car, but it is connected to the hoses with these connectors over here. You can see how they look like. This is metal piece that is crimped around this rubber hose, and there is this little rubber seal that seals this into this opening over here. So when I bought the radiator, I wanted to replace this hose, which is in the bottom, but I couldn't find it. The other one that is on the top is in very good shape, at least at the moment, and it doesn't worth mentioning, but this one in particular I wanted to replace it, but somehow my local auto parts shop didn't have any of these available. So they told me that they are only original, but they are not available and I can't get it. And I cleaned this part, went and separately bought this ring because they couldn't find me even the ring, and the old one was very damaged. So I managed to find new ring and somehow installed this in here. But I finished the job and everything was set, and the car set for probably a week or so. Everything was fine, the car was running, there were no leaks anywhere, and just like she was sitting one morning, I noticed that there is there is this little stain of some sort beneath the front bumper. So I got suspicious and start looking around what is going on, and apparently the radiator began to leak over here from this connection point. So I was wondering what is going on, because I had installed the new ring. As I mentioned, the radiator was new. There was no visible damage on the this hose, and in my desperation I had to disassemble this radiator for the third time. I think it was because of some other stuff. So I took it off the car, and as I investigated, I noticed, you can see that there is this trim over here insert that is paper thin, and I actually cleaned everything over here before mounting this, and there was nothing that can be seen as a damage or anything else. As I mentioned, I even took this ring, so everything looked fine, at least at first glance. So when I disassembled it, I was kind of wondering if something was wrong with the seal itself, or so I took this off and I noticed this hair thin gap. So I decided to get my screwdriver and kind of stuck it in there, so you can see the opening that I made, because apparently this thing was rusted inside. So somehow I couldn't see this. Probably I can't show you this. I'm gonna be forced to use this thing on this side. Yeah, you can see the gap. I made this with my screwdriver just to make sure that this is in fact the problem, and I struggled to find this type of hose. There was no available, as I mentioned, and in my desperation I decided to use second hand. But apparently I kind of dived into the web and tried to find some other part numbers that are compatible with this thing, and as it turns out, I was able to find it. And surprisingly enough, in my local part shop, you can see And the strangest thing is that this hose, kind of shiny, the light, you can't see it. This hose is exactly the same hose, but the part number that I was able to find this thing and purchase it was for the same van as this one, but with the diesel engine, which is the weirdest thing ever. And I was kind of surprised that the guys in the shop were not able to find this thing, and I had to make my research to find this part number so I can find this hose, and now I can finally install this thing, properly install it this time.